What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and how you feeling? Do you feel those ideas taking form, starting to crystallize? The moon's in Aquarius, and Aquarius, it really is a great sign for, and a great symbol of just like the visionary of keeping that North Star in mind. And I got a lot to talk about with this. I this was bringing a lot of imagery when I think about the Aquarius and this associated with like the star, and it's going to be, I'm excited for this. But before we jump into that, if you're new here, my name is Justin, and know that when you're coming across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. And and I do tarot card spreads based on this lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void. Of course, it's all them lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because yes, this is, it's appropriate. I've been thinking a lot, been meditating, but of course, because part way, happy Mercury Day, depending on when you're watching this. Mercury is associated with Wednesdays, and I'm a shuffle your cards here. We're making up words on Mercury Day. And then Mercury Day could be a great day for that. For feeling Mercury's in Sag. And so Mercury's feeling inspired. Whatever's coming to mind, we're just putting it out there. But it could be a great day for just like communication for stuff, for great day for learning. I feel like a great day could be for journaling, writing things down. All matters of like communication. I would say this could be an even great time to, thanks Spirit, to maybe even think about if you have like an interview that you need to do, maybe scheduling it around a Mercury time if that's so available, or even on a Mercury day. Maybe you have a presentation, try doing it on a Mercury day, see how that energy happens to work. Play around with these stuff, set these intentions and things. Maybe you have a lot of documents that you need to get through. Try during a Mercury day, Mercury hour. You may find yourself zipping through that, especially when you combine that with Aquarius. I think this day in particular could be just a really great one for doing some creative writing or going somewhere to just get the energies moving. I'm really in this sort of like muse inspired time of Sagittarius. I'm eating it up right now. So I'd say do the same. And I also think too that this would be a great time. One thing that I like to do during these days is to meditate on my Mercury placement. What is going on with Mercury? How is Mercury positioned? How's Mercury doing? Because it is really fascinating to compare how a mutable Mercury works compared to a Mercury in a fixed sign compared to a cardinal sign. And then you have the nuances of the 12 different signs. On top of that, it does get really fascinating, and the things that you do tend to think about and get geared towards and stuff along those lines. So definitely pay attention to that. You can do get a lot of powerful insights, Mercury. So, but let's get into the lunar shenanigans. Because on the 4th of December, the moon is going to be entering into Aquarius at about 8:21 p.m., and that's going to be Pacific time. And she's in that waxing crescent phase where she's starting to gain more light. Things are starting to increase. They're starting to move. And when you think about Aquarius, their traditional ruler is Saturn. Excuse me. And Saturn brings about limits, constrictions, requires patience, discipline. But you apply that to Aquarius, who is the fixed air sign. So that modality being fixed means that there's a lot of strong stamina and staying power that comes with that modality. And being in the air signs, that means that there is this potentiality for this high concentration of thought, of focus. And it's an active energy being masculine. And so when I said about that, like your ideas crystallizing, this can be a really great couple of days, especially if Aquarius is, if you have planets that work well with Aquarius energy. this can be a really great time to just focus on some things that you've been meaning to do, that you've just been putting off. Maybe you've wanted to get out and join some new groups. Maybe you've been wanting to take some time by yourself. Maybe go on like a retreat, or I was going to say on a retreat, not necessarily by yourself. Maybe you want to go on like a backpacking somewhere, like a camping thing, or whatever it is the focus may be. This can be a great time to just kind of sit down and really kind of get that. Maybe do a vision board on this day while the moon is in Aquarius. I think would be a great kind of thing for that, just to get an idea, or even just like writing some stuff down, setting some timelines, even making the future not just something that you can just see, but like something that you can like, I know, that's just like in your face constantly. That's just keeping the vision in mind, keeping the, and then having like maybe certain tasks that you're doing every day. Mess around with this. So you utilize this to the best of your abilities. But I would think, especially with Saturn, I think being able to bring shape to things as well. You can take this time while Saturn is in Pisces. I think that Saturn and Pisces is helping us get really inspired to get in touch with that more intuitive, emotional side of us, and to find ways to help move through those emotions as well. And so yeah, I'm just something here in this energy on this specific time, just like this waxing energy of. I love how both the Saturnian signs fell in this. So yeah, over these next couple of days, be thinking about that. And you know what? If you want to, and I think that's enough. All I have for you there. So let's switch over. Well, actually, let's switch back before we get into that. You can see my face. Don't talk about that. But if you're wanting to work more personally with these planets, these energies and things, see what's coming up for you during this period of time, or even getting into the future. Down in the description box below is a link for all the services that I provide, so definitely check that out if that's something that resonates with you. So yeah, that's what I got for you there. Let's go ahead and switch over. And then last little bit here, these readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then before we jump into this thing, I'm going to ring this bell to bring some good vibes, so adjust your volume if you need to, and let's get into this thing. Groovy. Ooh, look at this. I'm with it. That's a vision to hold in your mind. So for your general energy of the day, look at this smorgasbord that you have. You have the Feast of Gratitude here. And this card says, Relish, life's blessings. Yes, a heart filled with gratitude attracts abundance. And I would say with this, especially as this energy is building, focusing on the dream, because then as we're getting ready to get into the first quarter, that's when it's like Mars is going to go retrograde, and then we're going to hit that first quarter energy, that first challenge. And so this would be a time I would definitely invite to celebrating all of the blessings. And it doesn't have to look this big. Just taking a moment. It doesn't have to be just like a prayer, but I like to just take a minute after as I'm cooking a meal or as I'm working with different ingredients, just thanking you for being readily available for me to cook, whether this be rice or beans or veggies and things. Man, I'm making different teas, even thanking the water that's coming through, that's flowing together. Just those little things, those little acts of abundance can keep the heart filled up and keep you attracting more of that stuff. And it makes it easier to attract the even bigger things that I think that we want in life as well. But I feel like there's a start here of being able to focus on the little things first and then kind of building on that stuff. Developing more abundance stamina, if you will, or just a tighter focus on this, whatever that looks like. Let's say if you let's say there's these clothes that you want to get. Maybe you don't have the resources for them at the moment. So go look at them still. Go try them on. Go see, like, okay, you know what? That's going to look really cute when I buy this. And I'm going to match it with this thing. And maybe you can get something that you're going to match it with at that point. Maybe there's a bag that you see, or maybe some gloves or something. And it's like the gloves. I was like, the gloves are in the price range. Let's get this gloves. Let's get this thing. And then we're going to get you next. Something along those lines to stay in that place. There's even with all this food that she's got here, even if it was just like the soup that she had, I feel like that it all starts with she had to pick these things, and everything's intentional here. I don't feel like she just has necessarily just a bunch of random things here. Let me get some, because this gives me a very kind of Ten of Pentacles sort of vibe. But let's see what the past energy was looking like. You'll see some past energies here. Maybe something that might be affecting this abundance. Oh! Thanks, man. Look at this Big Daddy. Like King of Pentacles. I'm with it. I love that he came out during this piece of gratitude. I wasn't expecting other king. Look at him sitting up there, abundant. And hopefully, I hope this is how you feel right now. But maybe in this past, I'm almost maybe getting a bit of an envy energy coming from the King of Pentacles. Maybe thinking that this is what opulence looks like, this is what success looks like, this is for, and not being grateful for the abundance that you do have, but comparing it to someone else's. That's one thing that I'm getting with this, and being mindful of that, because I feel like this journey isn't about coveting things that people have, because what you consider abundance is not what I consider abundance, and that's okay. We can there's more than plenty than plenty. Just because it looks like she has all the food, there's still plenty out there. She didn't just wipe out the store, but if this isn't something that you've been feeling like in the past with this King of Pentacles, I'm wondering, is it because of maybe this could be even an invitation to maybe surround yourself with more King of Pentacles types of people? And I don't mean just those who just like are flashy and things over that, but for those who are truly grateful. Feeling blessed for another day. I love especially when I would ask people, like kind of working in customer service as long as I have been, when I ask people how they are, they're I'm blessed. And it's just like, there's something about that I really enjoy. And that it's so confident, like, yeah, just I'm blessed, and it's not, and something that it doesn't feel very common of a saying. I think more of that can be invited here, but someone who's just like, yeah, let me get a clarifier on this King of Coins here. Interesting. Thanks, Spirit. So the King of Pentacles is clarified by the Page of Swords here. And there's something in this past. I'm just thinking with this, what I'm getting with, considering that this is just kind of people clarifying each other, I would say, kind of looking back again, as far as like the people that you've been surrounding yourself with, the ideas, listening to how they feast on a daily basis. Are they relishing in life, or is it just a lot of just kind of talking about the lack thereof? I get where we could all want more, but what's I feel like there's a line, I feel like, when it comes to staying wallowing in that. What other steps? It's Yeah, it's very, very interesting what this Page of Swords is giving me. But another thing too, and I see where we get when we get to the present energy. But something here, it's even giving me this thing of reflecting on abundance maybe past, or thinking about a time when you felt like this, and then, yeah, something here is about it's not maybe feeling the same. Let's get some energy on the present and see what's going on here. Oh, thank you, Spirit. Oh, wow. Okay. So for your present energy, you got the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. And so with your present, I feel it's like maybe you had hit there's been a fluctuation maybe in the wealth, maybe in the resources possibly here. And now it's like, how do you stay abundant when you have, let's say you got bills that are due, or you have employees to pay, or you got whatever, this food that you need to cook. We got, of course, depending in the states, we have holidays that are coming up, and that this Ten of Pentacles is a need I'm getting to figure out how to be. You have the resources. You are a resourceful person. Even if the resources aren't there, maybe something could have possibly changed, and this doesn't necessarily have to be literally like your finances or something has where you need to be concerned. Stay on top of things, of course. But I think that it could even be where it's like you used to feel this sense of fulfillment, this sense of abundance, but now that energy is feeling broken in some sort of sense. Let's get some clarifier, or get a clarifier on this present energy here with this Ten of Pentacles. And I would say just get eyes on that sort of fixed mindset here, with us being in that fixed element of Aquarius. I find Aquarius could be not very, but there can be this thing, spirits, what's the word I'm looking for? Like self-made, made prophecy, or something like that. You're calling it, and it's just like, okay, well, we're going to keep calling, you'll see what happened, and then are you happy with what happened? That's what it's giving me there. But the Ten of Pentacles is clarified by the Three of Swords. And so this is Saturn in Libra, and I know I talked about this in the last card, or in the last reading, where that's interesting. You got these pentacles and you have these swords. That's kind of on the mind right now. These are kind of opposite elements, these air and earth elements. And what I'm getting with this Three of Swords is learning how to make peace with the fluctuation. Finding gratitude even when And even feeling an abundant when things may not feel so secure. You know, maybe something where you had to tap into savings. Maybe there was something where with someone else, maybe you were reliant on someone and then something falls through. Whatever this could be, it's like now it's like, okay, what is available to me right now? What can I do in this moment? It's not to say you can't feel some type of way, but it's like there's with that air, it's like we gotta kind of we gotta feel and we gotta move is what I'm kind of getting there. Give yourself the time you need, but it's also like try not to get it to where the things just kind of all fall apart is what I'm getting to. Let this be like a you learn something and that it always comes back. It won't ever be like it was, but it can be better. You know, that's not to say it can't be better. That's something to consider as well. Nothing will be like it was. It can only improve and grow from there. Let's see what are some future energies coming up here. Very interesting. Oi. Okay. Thanks, Spirit. So you have the Six of Swords here. And you know, with the Six of Swords, she's moving from this very clear darkness to a brighter horizon here. But there is something that is lingering. There's something that just happened. This Three of Swords, maybe, you know, that's this Three of Swords, Ten of Pentacles. But she's getting on the other side of it. She may not have all 10 pentacles, but she at least got six. Six of them made it. You know, and sometimes we may need to, this future thing, maybe you need to kind of count your blessings. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're doing some kind of transition. Maybe this is going from being in a couple to being single. I was actually just talking with someone about that. That is a weird transition where you go from joint resources to back to individual. It's like, oh, okay. And so, but you start moving differently, you know, kind of going forward. That's taught me a lot. But I do, because this card is Mercury in Aquarius. And you got a couple Mercury cards here. This Mercury in Virgo, Mercury in Aquarius. Both very cool places that I think it can be for Mercury. Well, of course, this Mercury in Virgo. But yeah, something. Yeah, things are changing. And with that Mercury, just talking about that Mercury in Aquarius, that Magician to the Star card, you know, there's a need to kind of manifest your own, this new beginning here. Or not manifest, but in order for that to manifest, there are certain steps that are needed to be taken. I think what's starting is the mentality of it. But let's get a clarifier for that, and then we'll get some advice from Saturn. Okay. So, the Six of Pentacles, or the Six of Swords, is clarified by the Five of Cups here, and you know, there was this shake-up here. There's this disappointment. But I don't think that just means that there's like that. I think just because you're moving towards this new future, that doesn't mean that the disappointment, the feeling of it, whatever, maybe even fear behind it won't be there. But it will be something that you will move on from. And I think that and that's what I think this is offering here, that this can you can move through this because even though the Five of Cups can be sort of a down, sort of a kind of like sort of card, this is Mars in Scorpio, and Mars is domicile in Scorpio. That's one of the signs that he rules, and so I think that's also just learning to how to roll with the changes. How when you feel a certain thing that, and I think that this is offering yourself that space to feel some way about it too. Like acknowledge that it happened. Maybe there was this sense of disappointment, but yeah, there's new options on the horizon. But I do also think too that I think there's this message here of trying not to make a decision from as an abundant mindset as possible. There's a time where you need to be, of course, practical and things, but like, is this what is the results of this thing? Am I just going from darkness into another? How if this is just going to be a brief breather, or you know what I mean? Like it's something here about you're not getting in the caught up in the same type of thinking. I'm even kind of being drawn to the skies. How you start with this sort of kind of bright blue, clear day, but the clouds are starting to form in this Page of Swords, and then things just start getting gray. like Seattle, it's just all that gray. But let's get some advice from Saturn. Okay, thank you, Spirit. So you have the Knight of Pentacles in reverse here. And with that Knight of Pentacles, I believe that this is a need to just kind of step back a little bit. You had this downfall, or maybe this kind of this bump in the road, but things will balance out again. And this situation will come to this sense of completion, but I think right now it's trying to figure out what that plan is going forward. You may need to, I'm getting a situation here where you may need to ask for help. I'm being drawn because I'd always liked this view of the court cards, and I just got something else I was listening to that brought a little bit more depth to it. But the court cards, they're associated with like the first two deacons of, which are the first 10 degrees, well, first 20 degrees of one sign and the last 10 of the previous. The king of, or excuse me, the knight of wand, or disc is first 20 of Taurus and the last of Aries. And we think about the minors associated with that. It's the five of Pentacles, the Six of Pentacles, and the Four of Wands. And I just think here that there's this need to worrying about, you're worried about something happening here, but instead of staying in that state of worry, what can you do to change right now? You know, like what are some steps that you can do to move forward? It's like we got to move through the disappointments, the worries, the fears, and that's where you can get to that success and get things where we're okay. We've closed this out, so we can move on to a next thing. Let me get a clarifier with this Knight of Pentacles here. I'm even looking at this. Thanks, man. I'm even looking at this sort of helmet here that's drawn over this person's head, and it's not there yet, but it's like anticipating. You see what's something that's happening. What can we do to get ahead of it? And then the Knight of Pentacles is clarified by the Three of Cups in reverse. And let's switch over here. Because again, a little bit more mercurial energy, a lot of Mercury energy here on a Mercury day. You have 3 Mercury cards, and I think that what's even kind of coming through with even that message is, you know, again, where's the head at? Where's the head going? And that's interesting. I'm even getting this question of, have you been overindulging to compensate for the lack of something? You know, when we feel in a certain way, maybe you overeat, or maybe you overdrink, or maybe you whatever you over do to compensate for a certain feeling. You know, what's going on with that? Something, yeah, this advice from Saturn is just getting a lot more structure, I think. And I even just kind of believe too with this, the people that kind of came through, just being mindful of who you're surrounding yourself with as well. But this Three of Cups, the abundance is there. The abundance can be. I'm just because I'm thinking in the Thoth card, in the Thoth deck. This is a card of abundance, and I have a thing that I'm getting ready to start doing here in a minute. But yeah, just focus on your blessings. You know, I think that it can, and I know that again, it could be easier said than done, but I feel like it beats the alternative. You know, when asked like, well, why? Because otherwise we're just kind of wallowing, and it's just like there's nothing that's happening. So I think that's all I got for you there. So if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who may get some. Are we going to do the thumbs up thing, or am I just going to look like I got. Well, you get the idea. Let's still leave a thumbs up. Yeah, share this if you. Okay, yeah, because it's not even going to pretend like it's going to do it. And subscribe there. You King of Pentacles. Hit that bell. I promise I got it. Normally, when you do the thumbs up thing, it gives a thumbs up. Third time's a charm. How weird. So there's that. I got to figure out what's going on there. But last little thing, and let me get your surprise cards here while we're dealing with all these surprises, is that also down in the description box below, I do on my other channel, Alchemist State, I do Celestial News Weekly, which is just talking about the weekly transits, how to work with these energies, some things to think about, kind of meditate on as we're going through this stuff. Okay. But you definitely check that out. Let's see what this card is. Interesting. So you have the Hound card here in reverse, which is a card of loyalty, chains, and promises. And so this hound. This hound is one where if you felt betrayed in some sort of way, maybe someone took some resources from you. This could be maybe actual money, maybe a business thing went south, or maybe you spent a lot of time with some people or whatever, and that just sort of changed here. There's this loyalty that was coming with this, and maybe feeling of betrayed, but in that chains, I think something to a perspective to think about is that now that is over with, you don't have to be loyal to that thing, Timur. You're free to be in this state of abundance again, where something may have been interfering with that, possibly. And, maybe there were promises of this feast of, I'm getting like where people can make promises, and that's nice, and I get the intention for things. Sometimes things change, and that's not to say anything about anyone, but it's more so just like I feel like being mindful of just sort of like those kind of like empty promises of, oh, when we get to this, things will be this and that, like that we were I was talking about it when we were in Sag, when we first started, where it seems like it's that overhyping the goddess of opportunity, selling something and under delivering. you know I'd be aware of that and being aware of doing that as well. Sometimes and I even think that chains here is just like, know your limitations right now. Maybe you don't have you you have an abundance of something, but how you can access that maybe changes. That's very interesting. But yeah, with the main focus kind of being these pentacle thing, being these pentacle things, these pentacles. I think that there's some material movement that's going on right now, but I think that it's freeing up. It's where something may be ending, something else is being freed up. Something's opening up here. So that's what I got for you there. Something to think about. But until next time, keep raising that vibration and keep eyes on that moon. And I will catch you on the next one, Saturn Day.